Hello everyone, welcome to the Matchday 10 deadline stream. I do apologise, I'm a little bit later. I'm not even that late. I'm only 4 minutes late, 5 minutes late. Work did run on a little bit more than it was supposed to. But we're here, so I have quickly gathered everything. I've just ran back up the stairs with a bottle of water. Oh, I'm out of breath. But I can see the chat is already flying, so hello to everyone who is who's in here for today. We're sitting at 166 viewers right now, so hello. We're going to be live for an hour, as always. And yeah, so we're going to jump straight into it. How is everyone feeling? How is everyone feeling about tonight? Because it seems as though there's going to be quite a bit of rotation from what I can see. Myself, obviously having Chow in the team, he has to come out. And now it looks as though, well, it doesn't look as though it is confirmed that Dembele isn't going to be in the PSG squad either. So that is my two transfers right there. And I have unfortunately been stuck with an unexpected benching already, which is Ademola Lookman. I haven't actually looked, at the Atletico thing, but yeah, I mean, I can imagine if UEFA's that's annoying that he was in the match day thing, but yeah, so annoying that that's one that we didn't really expect. But Hanko's in the team, which is ideal, but yeah, Lookman on the bench, so that's another unexpected benching. By the looks of things, Gordon is probably going to be benched as well, and then I think I'm okay elsewhere. So two bench, and Pope as well. Pope was another one who might get benched tonight for Aaron Ramsdale, so kind of annoying. But I am well prepared, I feel like, and I'm definitely not going to be taking any hits. So yeah, I'm gonna, obviously I have my transfers in mind, mostly the transfers from the team selection video this week. But yeah, so yeah, how is everyone else getting on? Lucas, feeling awful, a lot of rotation. I do agree. I mean, at the end of the day, I think there's still a lot of key players that are playing. It looks as though, like a couple of guys are going to be benched. It looks a lot worse than it is, but to be fair, I think most of us are going to be in a fine position. I think myself, I'm probably a little bit more on the worse off side because it looks as though I'm going to have 4 players not playing. But yeah, like the likes of Dembele, he wasn't that popular. Lookman wasn't that popular, the same with Chow, so I think a lot of people are going to still be in a decent enough position this week. And obviously we've got 2 transfers to make the use of that. For anyone who is wondering as well, I really don't think a hit's going to be worth it this week. Because I think unless you have 3 players guaranteed not to play, I wouldn't be taking a hit because it's only one match day. At the end of the day, for me, I've obviously got Dembele and I've got Chow. I don't think I'm going to take a -4 because at the end of the day, these guys are both playing on Tuesday as well. I'm expecting the majority of my Wednesday players to play, and obviously these guys can do something off the bench if I desperately need it. So I don't think a -4 is going to be worth it, for one match day. So yeah, I think I would definitely be looking to avoid taking a hit. Alan Villa with a $5 donation, thank you very much. Barnes, Alvarez, Thuram for captain. I did have my I did have my captaincy video out this week, and based on what you've said, I did have Alvarez as the best captaincy choice. That was purely based on the stats. I think just off like a hunch, I feel like I do kind of prefer Thuram. Just because Inter have to score a few goals in order to progress in the tie. So I think between Alvarez and Thuram, either of them are going to be the captaincy option. I wouldn't go for Barnes. I think limited minutes for him and Newcastle have nothing to play for. So yeah, I think I'd be going for Alvarez or Thuram. Personally, I think Thuram is going to be the one to go for, but I think the stats kind of do back Alvarez a little bit more. But thank you very much for the donation, Alan. I really, really do appreciate that. Lucas, thoughts on Dembele and either Gordon or Lookman to Guirassy. Thoughts on Dembele and Gordon or Lookman to Guirassy, and Guirassy to Alvarez, Dewey and Thuram. I think they all look good. I personally would keep. Probably I would keep. I mean, you've got to try. I think you've got, like, in order not to take a hit, I think you're best not getting rid of one of Gordon or Lookman. I think bringing in Thuram is definitely a good move. Alvarez the same. But Guirassi's going to play, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. I think you've got to take out Dembele, and then you've got to pick one between Gordon and Lookman, and then I think moving to Dewey is going to be a decent enough move. Natsa, oh, I nearly get cancelled there. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Natsa Relevetsky 2066. Is it worth it to change Lookman to Barnes? I don't think so. I mean, if you've got that free transfer available and you've got no other problems with your team, then yes, I think that is a good move. I think there probably are better midfielders you can go for, but I think, yeah, if you've got the transfer available and you're not taking a hit to take Lookman out, then I don't mind it at all. Mr. Frizads, what would be your top midfielder targets for today, aside from the ones I already have? Let's have a look. Who am I missing? I think anyone from PSG looks good. You know, Kvaratskhelia and Dewey, really good options. Obviously, a few people mentioning Barnes. Personally, wouldn't be my pick. I think Yildiz could be decent, but I wouldn't pick him over a PSG player. And I'd probably leave it at that, in all honesty. I think if I was bringing in a midfielder this week, I'd be looking at one of Kvaratskhelia or Desiree Doué. Lucas, fair enough. I'm going to just do Dembele and Gordon to Alvarez and Doué then. Yeah, that makes sense. I think with Gordon, I think he's maybe more likely to not play at all. At least with Lookman, I think he's more likely to come off the bench. At least, you've got some confirmation at least that he is in the squad. But yeah, I think Alvarez and Doué look like decent moves. Osimhen playing. Osimhen was in the squad, Akia. So I think he'll be fine, yeah. Sorloth, a good differential. I really like Sorloth, if you want to go for him. I really don't mind that at all. What about bringing in Schick instead of Alvarez or Thuram? Schick's a good one. I did actually have him in my first, original draft for this. Ended up not going for him in the end, but I think Alvarez and Thuram statistically are going to be a little bit better. Schick, of course, with Leverkusen, they don't really have much to play for. I think it's going to be a pretty defensive game for Leverkusen, trying to hold that 2-0 lead. So I think if I was bringing in a forward, I'd want to go for a forward from a team that has something to play for this week, which Leverkusen doesn't really have. Keep Pope or move to Sommer. Alan, I think if it means taking a hit, I wouldn't do it. See, in general, I probably wouldn't waste a transfer on it either. You've got a backup sitting there with your goalkeepers, and obviously with transfers, only having 2 transfers to make, I don't really think making a goalkeeper transfer is ever worth it. I think that's going to be more used or better used somewhere else. So I think I would leave it. I wouldn't get Sommer in this week. I think you're best just keeping Pope in the team, hope that he starts, and if he doesn't, at least you still have that backup. Esposito or Thuram. I do think Thuram is a little bit better, personally, but yeah, they're kind of on. At the end of the day, it's a 50-50. You're picking between 2 strikers. Anyone could do anything. I believe Thuram is more likely to be the penalty taker. I actually want to check that, so Inter Milan penalty takers, because I don't know who takes the penalties when both Lautaro Martinez and Çalhanoğlu are on the pitch. Oh, so it might be Zielinski actually. So if anyone's looking for another differential, Zielinski could be a decent one. But yeah, none of Thuram or Esposito have ever taken a penalty for, at least this year, have taken a penalty for Inter. Zielinski has taken one and scored it. So yeah, probably a decent chance that Zielinski takes the penalties tonight, if it does come down to it. Yeah, a couple people in chat as well saying Zielinski. So yeah, I think with Thuram and Esposito, it's just a toss-up at the end of the day. Is Giuliano Simeone a good choice? I haven't actually seen if he's starting. I imagine if Lookman's not starting, then Simeone probably is. His stats aren't great. He's done quite well in the Champions League so far, but yeah, I don't think there's anything really backing him to do really well. He seems like someone that can just pop up with 2 goals every now and then, but, you know, consistently he's not really that good a pick. If I were to go for one Olympiacos or Bruges player, who would I choose? If I was taking an Olympiacos player, I would go for Rozhny for the defender. I think he's probably the guy. Let me check. Bruges, I think you just go for Vanaken. He's been very, very good in UCL Fantasy. See the points as well. Like, if you look at Vanaken's points, you've got 6 against Atletico, you got 11 against Kairat, 6 against Barca. I think he, 14 in matchday 1 as well against Monaco. And then, yeah, I think Rozhny's a good one for Olympiacos. 12 points against Leverkusen at home in the previous fixture in the league stage. 9 against Kairat. I don't know what's happened there. Oh. That's new. Yeah, I think that would be my pick. So it depends if you need a defender or a midfielder. Ciao to DeMarco. I would have triple inter defence. I like it, but triple inter defence is quite a lot. So I think it's going to be very hard not to have DeMarco this week. It's kind of annoying. But yeah, I think maybe just go all out in that triple inter defence. The clean sheet odds are still pretty decent as well. You could see Bodo Glimt fully parking the bus as well, which would obviously increase the clean sheet chances. So I think I would be looking to get DeMarco as much as possible. It's obviously a little bit more risky when you are going for the triple up with the inter defence. Vanaken's their best player, but sometimes he sits too deep, I think. Probably going to go for him. I think he is just the best option. You saw even last week he got man of the match, but he never even got an attack in return, so I think he's a pretty solid one to go for. Thanks for the deadline streams, helped me a lot. Who's on your bench this week? It's just going to be the players that are sitting on that are playing on Wednesday. So I'll just stick my 3 PSG players on the bench. Emilio, do you recommend giving up a few points for an extra transfer? I have 2 Dortmund defenders and Lookman. Don't think Dortmund will get a clean sheet. I don't think Dortmund will get a clean sheet either, but their ball recoveries are usually really, really good. And I kind of mentioned it already, I don't think a hit is going to be that great this week. So I think as long as you've got playing players, I would just roll with it. Lookman, I would look to take out if you have not used any of your two free transfers yet. So yeah, that's what I would be doing this week. Best replacement for Dembele. I think Thuram is going to be the main striker I'll be looking at this week. Thuram looks fantastic. Alvarez looks really good as well this week. And of course Mbappe. I think if I was on a limit list this week, that would be my front 3. I don't really think any of the Wednesday attackers really look too great. I mentioned this to someone in the YouTube comments today. So Wednesday's games, strikers, Atalanta, there's nothing really. You've obviously got Gurase, but I don't think that's a great fixture away to a must-win Atalanta. Juventus don't have a great striker that's fit. Galatasaray obviously have Osimhen, but they're already 5-2 up and now playing away from home, so there's nothing to play for there. Real Madrid, you've got Mbappe. Wouldn't be looking at Benfica. And then PSG, you've got Dembele, who's injured and not in the squad. So Mbappe's the only striker for me on Wednesday that I like. And then Tuesday, obviously you've got Alvarez, you've got Schick, who again I don't really like that much, Thuram and Esposito. And then again no forwards there for Newcastle. So I think it's pretty simple. I think the front 3, the best front 3 you can get is going to be Mbappe, Thuram and Alvarez for this week. Pope benched. He might be, Tama. He might be. It does look like it's pretty popular in the predictions that Pope isn't going to play tonight, which is annoying, but I'm still going to roll with it. If he doesn't play, I've got Kakir as my backup, which is fine. I have De Gregorio and Pope as my keepers, and apparently neither are set to play. Should I take a hit for Sommer or someone else? I think in that case, now that you've got De Gregorio and Pope, you probably are best making a transfer, because I did see that Perrin looks set to start for Juventus, and yeah, if Pope's not going to play either, you do at least want a playing goalkeeper. So Sommer is probably going to be one of the better ones, but you could always just go for Ramsdale. It's a bit, maybe a bit more dodgy, so if you want to go for something, solid, Inter obviously, very good and aren't going to be rotating like Newcastle are, so you could go for Sommer, but I think I'd be looking at Sommer or Ramsdale. But again, you aren't 100% sure that Ramsdale is going to be the starting goalkeeper, so maybe Sommer is just the safer play. Would you double up on Inter defence, DiMarco and Akanji maybe, or too risky? I think if I was picking any, I would be going for DiMarco and Bastoni. Yeah, I think DiMarco and Bastoni would be the two. I don't think it's too risky. I think, Bodo are definitely going to have, more of a defensive game today. So yeah, I think, and at least, with Bastoni, there's, potential goal contributions, and there's also decent defcons from him. I don't think it would be a priority transfer unless you were going for DiMarco. I think DiMarco's a priority transfer, but I don't think any other Inter defenders are going to be transfers you want to be making this week. Should I replace Lookman or Gordon for -4 with Vitinha or Dewey? I wouldn't do that, no. I think Lookman and Gordon, unless you can use a free transfer to get them out, I would just keep them in, because they're playing on Tuesday, so you're going to have a substitute ready anyway. And they could easily do something off the bench. What would you pick between Thuram, Schick and Alvarez? I think I would go Thuram, Alvarez, Schick. Should I take a hit for Osimhen out for Thuram or Schick? I wouldn't take a hit to get out Osimhen though. He looks set to play. He's in the squad. I think he'll start. Any Dumfries news? Arba, he is, I believe, in the squad, but Sky Sports Italy doesn't have him starting. It looks likely that he is going to be playing off the bench. So he's one for matchday 11, but definitely wouldn't be looking at him for matchday 10. Which one to sell for? DiMarco, Hakimi, Mendes, Trent, Grimaldo and Burn. Honestly, I think that looks like a brilliant defence for this week, so I don't know if I would. But, I mean, if you really want to go for... If you really want to go all out, and you don't have any other fires in your team, your midfield looks great for this week, your forwards look great for this week, and you really want to get DiMarco in, I think I'd probably sell Burn or Trent. I'll be picking one of those two. Is Dembele confirmed out, or is there still a chance of him playing? He is confirmed out. I think it was France Football that tweeted that one. He looks set to miss out. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to find the exact tweet, but it is there. And he's not in the squad, unfortunately. Royadad219 with the donation. What are we thinking about DiMarco captain? First of all, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. What do I think about DiMarco captain? I think I'm tempted by it myself, I'm going to be honest. I had Thuram as the best captaincy outside of Alvarez for this week. No, sorry, I had DiMarco as the best captaincy outside of Alvarez this week. So I think for me, I'm looking to bring in both DiMarco and Thuram, so it is between them. The Inter clean sheet odds are still pretty good, and considering that DiMarco has a 48% chance of a attack and return, I am very, very tempted to put that armband on him. And again, I think it's easier as well this week to go for someone a little bit, you know, more differential. I don't even know if DeMarco will be a differential captain, but because you've got Mbappe as the backup on Wednesday, you know, that's as big a safety net as you can get. So I think you can go a little bit out there. You know, if anyone is tempted by a differential captain tonight, I definitely think that is a good move. So yeah, I really don't mind the DeMarco captaincy this week. I can find the Dembele source for anyone who is after it. There. French football news: PSG duo Fabian Ruiz and Ousmane Dembele. Oh no, that was the wrong one. Hold on. I did post it. There we go. Ousmane Dembele and Fabian Ruiz are out of PSG's return leg. Official. What do I think about Zielinski? I like Zielinski. If you need a Inter midfielder and you want to go for a midfielder, maybe you've already got 4 PSG midfielders, I think Zielinski's a good one. He does get attacking returns every now and then, and with Çalhanoğlu and Martinez out, he looks set to be the penalty taker for tonight as well. So a huge differential. I think he's very low owned. We can look that one up. Zielinski, 1% owned. So yeah, if you want to go differential, I think he's a really nice one to go for. We need to thank Mbappe for not scoring last week. He gave us the chance to captain Gordon. Totally agree. Barnes for -4, is it worth it? I wouldn't do that, no. I think Barnes could, like, chances are Barnes gets subbed quite early because Newcastle are that far up. And I don't think they really have, you know, much to play for at all, Newcastle. So probably wouldn't transfer in Barnes with a free transfer. So I definitely wouldn't be doing it with a hit. John, hello. 2 free transfers. Osimhen and Chow out. Alvarez and DeMarco on. Good 8-7 split now. Looks good. John, as long as you don't have anyone else that is really looking unlikely to play, I think taking Osimhen out is fine, because the fixture isn't that optimal. But yeah, I think if you've got someone like, you know, Lookman, if you've got Gordon, if you've got Pope, I'd probably transfer them out first. But I really don't mind taking Osimhen out, and the 2 guys you're bringing in are absolutely fine. DeMarco or Barnes captain? I'm not the biggest fan of Barnes captain. I think a lot of people, you know, looking at Barnes captain are just hoping to replicate Gordon last week. I think the thing is as well, Gordon was playing up front last week, so it's not really that direct replacement. But yeah, I think there's better captaincies than Barnes. You really want to be going for, you know, a player who has something to play for tonight, rather than a team that's 6-1 up. Is Pope starting? It looks unlikely. It looks, you know, all the predictions have Ramsdale. Natalia, 2 free transfers. Need to get rid of Lookman, Tillman, Chow. Any advice? I've not actually seen anything on Tillman. Is Tillman ruled out for this week? If not, and he's playing, I probably would go for Lookman and Chow as your 2 transfers out. I think getting in DeMarco this week is good, and then I think any PSG midfielder, whether that be Doué or Kvaratskhelia or Vitinha, I think they're good Lookman replacements. Andres, thank you very much for the donation. I really do appreciate that. Let me see what your question is. My forwards are Schick, Osimhen, Mbappe. You think I should change one for Alvarez or a different one? I think if I was taking out one of those players, I probably would take out... Oh, that's a tough one between Schick and Osimhen, because both don't have anything to play for, really. At least with Schick, he's playing at home, so I think Osimhen would probably be the transfer out. I think Alvarez, bringing him in is definitely a good move. So it's trying to be, you know, pick between Schick and Osimhen, who you would rather keep. I think I would keep Schick in that situation. Yeah, so I think Schick to Alvarez looks good. As long as you don't have anything else wrong with your team this week, I think you're absolutely fine. But thank you again, Andres, for that donation and your question. Can we carry over free transfers to the next round? I don't believe so. No, you definitely won't be able to, because you get unlimited transfers in match day 11. Yeah, so it's only during the league phase. Don't know why I forgot that. Only during the league phase you can transfer or carry your free transfers over. What we got? Half an hour. I have Chow, Dembele, Pope, and De Gregorio. Would you take a hit? I think I'd be taking out Chow and Dembele. Unfortunately for a hit, taking out Pope and De Gregorio, I think I'd just ride it out. There's a good chance you get 0 points, but in order for that hit to be worth it, you really need to have your goalkeeper scoring. Well, you need to have your goalkeeper scoring more than 4 points, which relies on them keeping a clean sheet. And this game, it's very hard trying to predict who's going to keep a clean sheet. So I think you just roll with it and unfortunately keep the 0 points. But I don't think a hit for a goalkeeper is ever really going to be worth it, even if they're playing or not. Mex says, I'm leading by 20 points, but I have Dembele, Chow, Lookman, Gordon, worth a -4 for DeMarco, Dewey, and Alvarez. I think I would just get DeMarco and Alvarez, Mex says, to be honest. I don't think a -4 this round is going to be too worth it, even if Lookman and Gordon aren't set to start. Dewey looks like a great option for this week, and I wouldn't be surprised if he done well, but I think if you really want to be, as optimal as possible, the hit isn't really going to be too great, because you are still going to get these guys off the bench. And if they don't come off the bench, and if they do only end up with like 1-pointers, then you still have your backups tomorrow. So I think I would just keep them and use the 2 free transfers. If I had to pick one, Dawido Sec. Sorry, or maybe your name's just David. Would you prefer to sell Gordon or Lookman? I think I would sell Gordon, because there's, at least that Lookman's on the bench and is probably going to come off the bench. With Gordon, he might not even be in the squad. So I think I would just go for Lookman in that, or keep Lookman in that case, because it's the safer option. If I was going for a Lookman replacement that wasn't PSG, I would probably go for, if you don't have Vinicius Jr., or get Vinicius Jr. If not, I think Zielinski's a really good pick this week in midfield, because you've got the penalties for Inter Milan. So Tillman is injured. If Tillman's injured in that case, then yeah, he's definitely a transfer out. Is Sorloth a valid pick? I definitely think so. I quite like Sorloth. I think, I think it was match day 8 we were looking at Atletico forwards, and Alvarez really wasn't looking in the best of form at all. And Sorloth was doing really well, and he ended up being the one that scored in match day 8. So I think if you want to go against Alvarez, I still think Alvarez is the better pick, because he also has penalties as well. But if you want to go for someone more differential and you still want Atletico attackers, then Sorloth I think is going to be fine. Guys, before we go any further as well, we're at 486 viewers, so we're almost at 500, so thank you all so much. If you are enjoying the stream as well, make sure to leave a like on it. I can't actually see how many likes we've got on the stream. Can I quickly check it? 73 likes, so we need to at least 100. I know that's 1 in 4 of you. If you can hit the like button and we can hit 100 likes, that would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, thank you. We're almost at 500 viewers, which I don't know if I've hit before, so that would be amazing. Is Thuram on pens? Don't think so. Vucek, I think it will be, or Vukic, I think it will be Zielinski. Between Hanko and DeMarco, I would go for DeMarco. Captain Thuram or Grimaldo, I prefer Thuram. Best defender to replace Chow. I already have DeMarco, Grimaldo, Hakimi and Mendes. I think I would be going for a Newcastle defender, Ben. Probably Dan Burn, I think would be the option there. That way it's just a straight swap. Newcastle still have the best clean sheet odds. Should I transfer out McKennie or Simeone? I mean, I probably wouldn't transfer out any of them. I think if you really want to transfer one, then probably a McKennie. I don't know if he's set to start at striker again this week. But I don't think you really need to transfer any of those two out. Dembele to Thuram and Lookman to Doué. That looks decent. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. Keep Pope or De Gregorio. I think Pope's more likely to start. It seems to be more news outlets that are reporting that De Gregorio isn't going to start, whereas it's more, you know, like fan predictions predicting that Pope won't start. So I think I'd rely more on the news outlets and I'd keep Pope just in case. Gordon's birthday today. He will play even if it is for the bench. I'm confident. I hope so. That would be ideal. Yeah, that'd be nice. So I could do with another 27 pointer from him. Mill Swift, is Doué injured? He went off with half-time injury at the weekend against Metz. I did see something about that, but he's totally fine. I think it was 2 days ago it got reported that he's absolutely fine. So he'll probably start, you know, where Dembele usually starts, so you could see Doué as the striker tonight. Chow for Burn, makes sense. I like it, like for like. I think you had 500 watching at the start of the UCL season. Did I? Wow. To be fair, we've grew a ton this season, so yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant. I don't know. I can't. I'll maybe need to go back and have a look, because I think I don't remember having 500 viewers. Because I know it's been massive recently. I think we're maybe sitting about 350 odd at the start of the season. I don't know. Maybe have a look, Sparta. Is Dembele a definite sell? Yeah, he will be. He isn't in the squad. Wissa or Waltemade or Thuram. Go for Thuram, Chris, because it doesn't look likely that Wissa or Waltemade are going to be starting. I think Asula is probably going to be the forward that starts tonight, based on the predicted lineups, that is. Trippier or Hall to DeMarco. Jeff, I probably would keep both, to be honest. Newcastle have a really good chance of a clean sheet. Karabag, I mean, at the end of the day, probably don't have much to play for, being 5 goals down. So I think a Newcastle clean sheet's quite likely tonight. Best captain, Grimaldo or DeMarco? Definitely DeMarco this week. Zielinski for McKennie. Don't mind it if you've got, you know, if the rest of your team looks set to start and you want to take out McKennie for Zielinski, go for it. Trippier or Ben Sabini for DeMarco, or Pope De Gregorio for Ramsdale. I think if it's a free transfer, you probably, the smart choice is probably taking out De Gregorio. Well, you can't do it, there's no point. Oh, I mean, you could do De Gregorio for Nah, I wouldn't do De Gregorio for Ramsdale. It's kind of tough, because I think Ben Sabini to DeMarco is a really good transfer this week, but obviously you really want to have a starting goalkeeper, and there's no point in taking out De Gregorio for Ramsdale when you've got Pope. Thuram or Alvarez, because you picked Thuram in your team selection but said Alvarez was a better captaincy option. Yeah, I think this is mainly due to the stats that I picked Alvarez. I think personally I still think Thuram is a better captaincy option, but you know, the stats on the graphic, everything did seem to back Alvarez, but I think I'll personally be going for Thuram instead, because I think the return chances were like the exact same, but the thing that's swaying me is that Inter have to go and score at least 2-3 goals for qualification, whereas Atletico are on a 3-each draw right now, so they don't have to come and go all out, as opposed to Inter who do. So I think Thuram's better than Alvarez, but personally I think I probably will be going for DiMarco as the captaincy. Oh, sorry, I think I just hit the mic. Duncan Art, will Thuram and Zielinski play? I just came. Yes, Duncan, they are both in Sky Sports Italy's predicted lineup, which tends to be 100% correct most of the time, and they're both due to start. Dembele for who? I already have Alvarez. Would you sell Lookman or Chow as a second transfer? Definitely Chow, because you've got a chance of Lookman coming off the bench. In terms of the Dembele replacement, I think if you can go for it, Mbappe, Thuram and Alvarez as your front three, they would be the guys I'd be looking out for. DiMarco definitely playing this week. It looks like it. It looks like it. I can't trust Thuram. He's like Waldemade to me. I think with Martinez being injured, you've got a very good chance that Thuram is the starting striker. Murphy and Gordon both have birthdays. Mbappe knee injury. I haven't seen anything about an Mbappe knee injury. Let's have a look. Oh wow, 10 seconds ago. Mbappe had to interrupt his training session due to his left knee is not at 100% versus Benfica. Well, Trini has just brought us some very interesting news. I don't think that's enough for me to get rid of him. Oh, Pete, thank you very much. This is just a thank you for answering my question. Good luck this match day. Best of luck to you as well, Pete. Thank you. I do appreciate that. What a legend. Yeah, I know, that's kind of annoying with Mbappe. But, again, it's probably not enough to sell him, is it? It's probably just precautionary. But at the end of the day, I suppose that gives you more reason to go for someone like Vinicius Jr. in midfield. Yeah, there's Christian, got the exact same idea as me. Vinny captain versus Benfica, here we go. I think that's fine. Obviously Mbappe will be the backup captaincy, but if Mbappe does end up out, do we see lineups for Real Madrid? No, but that's kind of annoying. I'm sure we'll see more. Usually Real Madrid's quite good for team news before the deadline. So if something does come out, then I think Vinicius Jr. is obviously going to be your obvious backup captain. Adils, I would buy DiMarco instead of Hakimi. Thoughts on Tillman to Barnes? I think there is better midfielders you can go for than Barnes this week. Them being the PSG guys, really anyone from PSG, Vitinha, Kvaratskhelia, Doué. I think Doué looks probably set to start up front as well with Dembele out. Or there is Zielinski as well from Inter. I don't like the idea of buying Newcastle. I think Newcastle defenders, yes, but Newcastle midfielders and attackers I don't think are great this week. Purely because they don't have anything to play for. They don't have any reason to go and score goals. Is Trent an option for Chow? Already have DeMarco, Hakimi, Mendes, Grimaldo. I think once you've got DeMarco, Hakimi, Mendes, Grimaldo, you've probably got the best 4 defenders that you can get. And then the 5th one is just a little bit more up in the air. I think a Newcastle guy is probably the safest, but I really don't mind Trent at all. I think he looks set to start as well. Double up on Newcastle or Inter defence? That's a good question. Probably Inter defence, because it's easier to predict who's going to play. I think tonight we can already have an idea of who the Inter defence is going to be thanks to Sky Sports Italy. With Newcastle, it's a little bit more up in the air. Mbappe news nearly caught me off guard. Can always rely on these streams for matchday news. Thank you, man, like KB. I know, that was, yeah, big thanks to Trini, though, for bringing that to our attention. Who should I get in for Dembele and Chow? I think I'm kind of the same situation. I'm going to go for Thuram and DeMarco. Bissek looks set to start. Miguel, yeah. I think. Let me have a look. Yes, Bissek. Bissek, Akanji and Bastoni. Pavlidis or Guirassy out to bring in Thuram? I would go for Pavlidis. I think Guirassy can still do quite well this week, even though he's not top 3 picks for me. What's up with Mbappe? I think it was just a small training precaution that he's came out. Not 100% for tomorrow, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't take that too seriously. At the end of the day, I think it's going to be every single chance that Mbappe tries to play in the Champions League, because he's got 13 goals. He's, 4 away from Ronaldo's record, and they're only 1-0 up against Benfica. They can't really afford to bench him, especially after what happened on the last day of the league stage. So I think Mbappe will be fine. If I had to transfer between Lookman and Gordon, who would I transfer out? I would take out Gordon, because I think there's maybe more of a chance that Gordon isn't in the squad. Has the Newcastle travelling squad been announced? Actually, do you know what? Hold on. Let me quickly see, because I tweeted out about the Newcastle lineups and Magpie Media got back to me. So this is kind of what we're expecting for Newcastle, which is actually kind of mental, because I don't know who half these players are. I've never heard of Shahar in my life. I've never heard of Murphy, the left back one, not the right wing one. No Trippier in there either. So this is what I mean when I say about Newcastle. It's very difficult trying to predict who's going to start for Newcastle. I think it's best just to avoid them. Great if you own like Dan Burn, but then I'm saying this with the Newcastle clean sheet sitting at 52% right now. Are we really going to see a clean sheet when they've got, I'm imagining 2 youth players playing as the 2 wing backs? I think I'll have 3 players benched: Pope, Gordon and Lookman. I only have 1 transfer left. Claudio Braga. I don't like that name as a Celtic fan. I would personally go for Gordon, Lookman out. I don't think you need to take out Pope. I think that's what I'd be doing there. Up to 553 viewers. I don't know how the hell we managed to get about 80 viewers in the last 5 minutes, but thank you to everyone who has just came in. Make sure to drop a like on the stream as well if you haven't already. But yeah, thank you. We've absolutely spiked in the last few minutes. We're 10 minutes away from the deadline as well. Dembele news: Lars Davos. He is out, unfortunately. He will not be playing not be on the bench, not be starting. That was confirmed today. Already have the best defenders possible, so no rush to get out Chow. Would you rather transfer out Lookman or Gordon? I wouldn't, Gerben, because at least you know you'll get some points from Lookman or Gordon, most likely. Chow is just out completely, so I would go for a defender instead. Is Dewey safe? Is he not injured? He was confirmed a couple of days ago that he was absolutely fine. Gordon and Lookman out for a -4 or just one of them. If only one of them, who would you go for? I think if I was to take out just one, I would be taking out Gordon. And who, yeah. Diosa, thank you very much, I appreciate it. Emilio, thank you as well. Best of luck this week. Zephods, I'm transferring Chow and Dembele to DeMarco and Thuram as a -4. I don't think a -4, like, I personally wouldn't do it. I don't think you need to take out Gordon this week for a -4. I need a keeper. I accidentally got Chevalier and have Pope suggestions. I think if you need to make that transfer, I think Sommer is probably going to be the best one to go for. Emilio, thanks a lot, Bobby. Good luck in this match day. You as well, thank you. I don't think it's worth a hit taking out Gordon or Lookman, though. In terms of the best midfielder to get in place of Gordon or Lookman, if you do really want to pick one, I think I'll be going for someone from PSG, Dewey, Vitinha, Kvaratskhelia, or I would go for Zielinski from Inter. Lookman or Gordon out would allow me to go for Dewey, or Zielinski could also take a -4 for it. I don't think the -4 is worth it. I just don't. Mbappe injured apparently. I did see it. I don't think it's anything to worry about too much. I'll see if there's anything extra. Yeah, nothing extra, no more news or anything, but yeah, he did interrupt his training session, but I don't think it's going to be too much to worry about. Plus, everyone has him. Trippier or Ben Sebaini for DeMarco. I think it's going to have to be Trippier at this point. I would have liked to have kept Trippier, but it looks quite likely they could be benched this week. And at least with Ben Sebaini, you know he is going to play. Captain Schick, Grimaldo or Gordon today. Out of those three, it's going to have to be Grimaldo. I do still, if anyone has, you know, a quick 5 minutes before the deadline, I do still have my best captaincy video out on the channel. So if you want to quickly go and give that a watch, or even just skip to the end, it has the best like my 3 favourite captains for, are based on the stats that we looked at, the 3 best captains for Tuesday and then the 3 best captains for Wednesday as well. Is Jacob Murphy a good punt? I mean, it could be, but I don't like bringing in a Newcastle player this week. John, best of luck as well. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Gordon's not out, no. He just looks likely to be benched. Captain DeMarco, Alvarez or Barnes? I think DeMarco. I think I'm going to go for DeMarco. What do you think of Osimhen, or should I change to Schick? I wouldn't do Osimhen to Schick. I think you could definitely take him out if you want. If you've got 2 free transfers there, then go for it. Take out Osimhen. I do think Thuram and Alvarez are going to be the best 2 you can go for if you are looking for a replacement. Should I change Bastoni to DeMarco? I think that's a very luxury move, Mohammed. If you have to, if you've got transfers that you don't know what to do with, then yes. But if you've probably got other players that are benched or unlikely to play, and I think they're definitely a bigger priority transfer. Do we still get points if the games go into extra time? We do. I think you also... So the best thing about extra time is if someone comes on in like the 55th minute and plays, like for example, I don't know any defender that isn't starting, but if your defender doesn't start and they come on in the 55th minute and they play and the game goes into extra time, they will get clean sheet points because they've played over 60 minutes with a clean sheet. I think we saw that last year with someone. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been like Timber. He came on as a sub and then they played through extra time and they never conceded. So even though, you know, like Arsenal for example, well, I'll use someone in this case. Let's say Atletico are getting beat 2-0 off Bruges and they have a defender that comes on in the 55th minute. Even if Atletico don't concede for the rest, even though they have get beat 2-0 and they go into extra time, or 2 each for example, and they go into extra time, then that defender will still get clean sheet points. Pick 2 between McKennie, Yildiz and Zielinski. I'm not sure if McKennie is going to start at striker. If he does, it would be McKennie and Zielinski. But all three look good, so I think, you know, it's kind of up in the air with who the best options are there. 4 minutes to go. Right, I better lock my moves in. I'm going for Chow and Dembele out. And I'm bringing in Thuram, that's a Kanji. And I'm bringing in Thuram and DeMarco. Sorted. 25th, 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 25th. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Still got 7 players playing tonight. We've got Lookman and Gordon potentially on the bench. So that could just be 2 players that come out for my bench players. But that's fine with me. Oh, I nearly forgot to change captain. There we go. That's me. Locked in. Locked in for matchday 10. Thoughts on Esposito? Absolute to Logie. I think I do prefer Thuram, but I think Esposito is just as good an option. Best Newcastle defender besides Burn. I mean, based on the predicted lineups, it's probably Botman. Meerkat, hi mate, I've just got home. Lookman and Chow to DeMarco and Dewey. Go for it. I like those 2 moves. If that's what you need to do, if you've got, you know, if Chow's the only player that's definitely ruled out for yourself, then yeah, go for it. Lookman to Dewey looks good. Jamie, Alvarez or Thuram for captain? I prefer Thuram. The stats, I think, slowly prefer Alvarez. I say slowly, slightly prefer Alvarez. Sorry in a mad rush, that's all good. It's all good. Why did I do it last second? Just in case there's any more news at all. You know, we just saw the stuff about Mbappe, but I'm going to keep him. Prochuk, best of luck as well to yourself. Thank you for coming. Guys, on your way out as well, if you are leaving just before the deadline, make sure to leave a like as well. That would be very, very much appreciated. I think we are, what we at? 159. So if we can hit 200 before the end of the stream, that would be very much appreciated. But yeah, that looks it looks good to go, I think. Chat's kind of slowing down. I'm hoping everyone's away now to confirm your moves, because you've got 45 seconds to do so. Make sure you've got your captaincy set. Make sure you have your bench order set. Yeah. Goalkeeper, have both the same as you, 4 points or change it. No, I would just keep the goalies. Sam, best of luck. I'm happy with my team still. It's obviously unfortunate that Gordon and Lookman look set to be on the bench, but it is what it is. I still think I've got enough potential in there to do quite well. Man like KB, thank you very much. Listen to Man like KB, he knows what he's talking about. Captain Alvarez, I mean we are a bit too late now actually, to be fair, Abel. I would have done DeMarco though. And there we go, we're locked in. Does bench order matter? Not if you're going to make manual substitutions, which I'm going to do. Yeah, the only way bench order matters is if you don't touch your team at all. Sparta, thank you. Player coach, let's win the PS5. I know, I hope so. Miguel, best of luck to yourself. Good we stream again. Thank you to everyone who did come out. I feel like these, obviously I can't do them for as long as I used to be able to. Working full time now, and it's a mad rush trying to get onto the live stream after this, or after work. So I can only do an hour. I would love to be able to do longer, but unfortunately it's not possible. But the hour streams have done fantastically, and you know everyone seems to enjoy. And I feel as though I do get every question asked, every question answered. At least the majority, and you know obviously that does involve repeating myself quite a lot, because obviously we do get people in every couple of minutes that haven't seen the questions being answered already, which is no fault of theirs at all. But yeah, I feel as though the majority of questions do get answered in the hour, which is ideal. Thanks guys, I do appreciate it. Best of luck. CJ, auto subs are a thing, but you can't change anything. So you have to have like you when it like basically moving into the Wednesday, you can't make any auto subs and you can't change your captain. If you do any of those things, even if it's just bringing in one player from your bench, then auto subs are totally wiped out. And the only way auto subs do happen is if one of your players doesn't play at all. So no minutes, for example, if Lookman doesn't come on, then you'll get an auto sub if you don't make any changes whatsoever. But yeah, I think now that is the game started, I'm gonna go and give it a watch, and hopefully Hanko can get away attack and return. That'd be a lovely start. And then we are hoping for Lookman to come off the bench in the second half and do something. So we'll leave it there. Thank you guys all so much for coming out. I do appreciate you all asking your questions. So I'm gonna pop off now, and I think we're 2 weeks away from the round of 16, and again we do get unlimited transfers, so I'll have as many videos as I can out about that. As always, I'll be active on Twitter throughout the night, so yeah, if you've got any more questions then I will be active on there. So thank you for coming out, and I'll see you all for match day 11.